Welcome again to our midweek reflection. This morning in one of the papers there was a cartoon. It follows on the news yesterday that in England and probably later in Scotland there will be big relaxations of the rules, particularly those around social distancing and the wearing of masks. In this cartoon there's a woman standing in a train looking at a rather dejected man and saying to him, "It's over between us. Now that I've seen you without your mask, I'm not so keen." Those masks that we've had to wear hide at least half of our faces and parts of the most expressive features in our faces. But we wear them because if we wear them, we protect other people. It's quite obvious that some people will choose to wear them and some people will choose not to wear them. But that means that amongst us there will be those who will feel anxious and those who will feel liberated. Now, it's not pleasant to wear these masks, we all know that. It makes your face hot, it does interfere with your freedom to express yourself and to understand what other people are either thinking or feeling. And you can't see the full face. That means something is missing in the communication between one human being and another. So are they smiling or snarling? Are they being friendly or indifferent? Now, when we move to more relaxed rules, we would hope eventually to discard our masks altogether. Yes, but there are other kinds of masks that we have worn all our lives. At work, the mask of competence when sometimes we're struggling just to cope. The mask of being forced to be pleasant because that's what's expected of us regardless of how we feel. Being empathetic to others when in fact we've got quite enough to try and deal with ourselves. Exuding a sense of humour and fun when inside we're rather sad. Confident, but actually we don't feel that way. The mask of being experienced and knowing our way around, unfazed, but in fact struggling like everyone else. Or in our families where we're coping fine, all the relationships are healthy, we're managing financially, and often each of these is a mask. Those negative emotions that eat away at our happiness, guilt and shame, and the fear of other people's disapproval. These are some of the reasons why, without even thinking about it, we put on a show. We put on a mask. We hide the true and full face of our reality and of our experience in life. Now that brings me to a word which I used at the beginning of this and use, I think, in almost every one of these reflections. Welcome. Paul says to the Christians in a church in Corinth, "Welcome one another as God in Christ has welcomed you." Now, if you're welcomed by someone, that means they welcome you. Not the mask you wear, not the pretend person that we sometimes feel we have to project in order to get people's approval and liking. To welcome other people the way God has welcomed us would mean making space for them to be. It would mean clearing a place at the table so that they could share our experience and our company. To welcome others as God has welcomed us would be to say hello to the stranger and through that one word hello begin to build the bridge of friendship. As God in Christ has welcomed you, welcome one another. And if we do that, then there isn't just as much need for those kinds of masks behind which we hide. When we say, "I'm fine," when we're asked how we're doing, that word fine is a mask and it covers not just a multitude of sins, but a whole lot of difficulties that we're not ready perhaps to talk about. That smile that doesn't reach the eyes. The real person we are, we will only really show to someone whom we trust, who will understand us to the depths of who we are, who won't laugh at our anxieties, who will sit alongside us in our hurts, who'll encourage us to care for ourselves because the self we are is worth caring for. To welcome one another as God in Christ has welcomed us is something that enriches and deepens our relationships with each other. I want to finish with a hymn which actually is a poem set to a tune, and it says a great deal about why it is that, at least with God, we don't need to wear masks. When Christ was lifted from the earth, his arms outstretched above, through every culture, every birth, to draw an answering love. Still east and west his love extends, and always, near or far, he calls and claims us as his friends, and loves us as we are. Where generation, class or race divide us to our shame, he sees not labels, but a face, a person, and a name. Thus, freely loved, though fully known, may I in Christ be free to welcome and accept his own, as Christ accepted me. Thank you for sharing this time, and God bless you.